Hey everybody, it's Rosie, and in this video we are making my grandma's Southern Peach Cobbler. My grandma was definitely a Southern belle. I guess that's how, I started cooking the way that I do, even though I am not from the South. But I'm going to start off sharing my cobbler filling. That's everything you need for this cobbler. Here's the crust. We are making it homemade. Do not skip out on the crust because this is pretty much the best part. No joke. So let's get started. We are making our crust with some all-purpose flour. So take 2 cups of all-purpose flour and sift that flour into a bowl. Now you're going to add 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, followed by 1 teaspoon of salt. And now we are just going to mix all of those ingredients. I'm just using that little whisk there. So mix everything until everything is nice and incorporated. Now we're going to add our shortening. I'm using butter flavor shortening. Don't skip out on the butter flavor shortening, otherwise you're just going to use that regular shortening and it's not going to taste nice and buttery. Now some people are going to ask me, well, can I use regular butter? No, butter burns too fast, so use butter flavor shortening. So I used my pastry cutter to mix those 2 ingredients, the flour mixture and my shortening. Now I added in some ice water and I'm using my hands just to form a ball, just like that. Now, the next step you have to do is take that nice big ball of dough, take some plastic wrap, and place this dough in the refrigerator for 45 minutes. No less than 45 minutes because you want that dough nice and cold before you deal with it. So after your dough has been in the refrigerator for about 25 minutes or so, you can work on your cobbler filling. I am using frozen peaches. I'm going to add 1 cup of water to my peaches. If you want to use canned peaches, don't add any water, just use the juice in the can. Now I'm going to add in 1 cup of sugar. If you're using canned peaches, I'm pretty sure that they're already sweetened, so just use ½ cup of sugar. Now I'm going to add in 1 full teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of my nutmeg. And now I'm just going to stir those ingredients, and my heat at this time is on medium high. So while this is cooking, we're going to make our thickening agent, and all that's going to be is 1/2 cup of regular water and 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So take a kitchen utensil, mix those ingredients until it's nice and lump-free. Now we're going to head back to the stove top and add some butter in our pot. We're using 8 tablespoons of salted butter. Mix that butter in, or should I say fold it in with the peaches. Add in your vanilla extract at this time. And make sure you just stir everything. You don't want anything to burn at the bottom. So now it is time to add in our water and flour mixture. Again, this is going to thicken our cobbler mixture. You don't need to add any cornstarch. This is the real deal right here. Just that flour and water mixture. And look how nice and thick our cobbler filling is. So at this time, reduce your heat down to low, and let's take the dough out of the fridge because it's ready and good to go. So I'm just going to mash it down using my hand, and I'm going to cut it using my knife. I just cut it in half. And now we're going to work on our little dumplings. I make my cobbler with dumplings just like Grandma used to. So just take a pizza cutter or a knife and just cut your dough after you flatten it in these little squares here. Then you're going to transfer these squares to a cookie sheet, and we're going to bake it on 375 for 5 to 7 minutes. Meanwhile, let's pick out our baking dish and let's pour our peach cobbler filling or mixture into that baking dish. Let's head back over to the oven, take out our little dumplings, and they're done. Don't wait for them to turn golden brown on top because on the bottom this is what they're going to look like. So they are completely done. Even though they look a little pale on top, they're nice and crispy and ready to go. So now we're going to add our little dumplings along with our peach mixture. We're going to take a kitchen utensil just to make sure everything is nice and incorporated. As you can see, it's already looking nice. So really all we have to do is work on some more crust because everybody knows when it comes to Southern Peach Cobbler, the best part other than all that peach juice is the crust. Now I know you agree. Can I get an amen? Now anyway, I just rolled those little strips up and then I unrolled them onto the cobbler. It's kind of hard to tell with my hand in the way. Sorry, I tried my best. But just roll those little cobbler strips out, or those little crust. There's a real name for them. I think it's lattice. But just roll those out, and we are going to pretty much crisscross them just like that. And you know what? If your cobbler looks ugly, just dip your hand in a little water, pat your crust down, and that will make it stick and look nice and pretty. So now we're going to bake our cobbler on 375 Fahrenheit for 30 to 35 minutes. And get ready, because it's about to be some food porn. That's it. That is the cobbler just bubbling away. It's going to take everything you have not to dig in right then and there. But if you value your mouth, do not dig in. Let it cool down. Then once it's nice and warm, you can just serve this cobbler with some vanilla ice cream. This is definitely my favorite dessert. Out of all desserts, I can always go for cobbler. And that's it. So tell me what you all think I should make next. Be sure to leave that down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.